this was my first amp, and I don't know how long it was after I got that pedal, but around here, these were, you know, well, not so much the Fender amps, but the pedals, the Digitech pedals were very popular. And the Princeton Chorus was just a starter amp. You can tell it's got some battle wounds. I would say that it doesn't have its amplifier foot switch pedal anymore. It's long gone and dead. Chorus still works. The gain and all, the distortion isn't as good as it once was. But I was using pedals anyway, so it didn't really matter too much. But for the longest time, I wanted to upgrade my stuff. So the songs when you heard Waken the Beast Within and Ballad were all done using my Fender with a microphone, which I'll show in a little bit. But that was the beginning of my recording when I finally had a decent recording setup to get the songs that I wanted started, because these songs are being recorded long after they were written, and some of them, I can't say all of them, but some of them, I would say, they finally got their justice in recording well after they had been riffs and written and mostly done for a long time. I'll try not to Blair Witch this too much, but in Karen songs, I'll usually use the preset GarageBand, you know, amps or DIs that they have in here. And typically, obviously, I'll use one on one side and another tone on the other side. And either play the same thing or some kind of variation, which I kind of did in the last video. And I don't always use time for shred right there, but there's obviously a ton of different tones. Some I don't use, some I do. And I do adjust the settings to kind of get things how I want. For here, there's no reverb, there's no echo, no flanger. Don't mean for my hand to come in there. Click on this really quick. This was actually the last thing I did. And then they have their fake pedals that you can add, you know, and you can put different ones onto the different amps. You get this too. What? Sorry, I'm Blair Witching it. Oh my god, it's there and it's disappeared. So then they have this thing where you can adjust the microphone, move it around, get different sounds from the amp. Digital fakery with the placement of the mic on the speaker. And of course, I do that by, I don't plug it into this Epson printer. I use this, and you can see the guitar is just plugged straight into this. And it's good and it's fine, it works, but what are you gonna do when you're gonna go play somewhere or you wanna get your own sound? It's all preset things that you really can't manipulate too much when you're dealing it with this way. So I decided to finally start my collection with a Black Star amp, which is the HT Stage 100 MK2 and a Marshall cabinet. Maybe in time more amps will come, more cabinets will come. This was just kind of like a starter idea that I had to, you know, kind of start developing my own sound and coming up with my own, tones that I can mess around with myself. So this is the start of me finding my own tone and messing with, different sounds. Obviously there's no sounds right now, but we'll get there. So I have some pedals, and we have to start a pedal chain. I have more coming. This is just, the beginning with the Ocean Machine reverb and dual delay pedal with delay B and delay A, and then a bunch of preset stuff that they have in here. But you can make your own stuff up with it. So starting off with that, gotta go with the Crybaby wah. I haven't really used wah in all but one song. The amp has distortion, but I'm going to use the metalcore. I had these settings. I don't know what I was doing with those settings, but I played around with a few different things, and then I'll play around with some more. I have the super chorus that I'm going to be using, and then I have a compression pedal and a volume pedal that are coming, and then of course the amp comes with its own pedal as well. So the next kind of step in the journey is really going to be finding pedal placement and what I'm going to do with the setup. If I want to get a pedal board, it's a strong possibility that I would do that. As far as mics go, there's a bunch of truths. You can tell I just opened a lot of stuff. Obviously, see if it focuses in. Why not go with the mic that everyone talks about, but an SM57. But this is a cheaper mic, and I might use it for something. It hasn't been so bad. This is actually one of the first mics I used to record. It didn't do a terrible job, but I obviously want to do more, and this is just a mess of gear that I'm going through. I'm probably going to upgrade my pedals. There's a tuner. I should probably upgrade my tuner. I've had this tuner forever. Probably needs a battery. Doesn't even work. Used to work. I don't know if you can see. Nope. Might have to edit this part out. I'll just leave it in. And then there's all the other guitars. Woo. Anyway. You can tell I don't really have these levels set any particular way right now. It just is what it is. So unfortunately, I didn't get to play in this video to mess with any of the sounds yet. Mostly just an explanation of how we got to this point right now. But part 2 will definitely be some playing, me figuring out what sounds best on here from the new amp. Probably still will record some of the old ways, if the trial and error doesn't sound too great when it comes to writing new riffs, writing songs, and kind of editing what I've already done as far as music. I've kind of started editing some of those songs a little bit to make them better. I feel like some of them have, just with that sound, put out what that is, and then maybe move on to some other stuff as time moves along, and maybe eventually, if things go well, move on with that one, depending. We'll just see how everything sounds, and then that's just going to be the trial and error in making these videos and finding my sound and see if something's different. So end of part one. We'll do part two soon. To say part two, part two. I don't know if that's going to be my thing, the peace and the war thing. I hope not. You never know. Later on.